So one of my buddies is coming over, and I think I'm gonna try to con him into helping me get burn barrel into the shop. Yeah, I can't do it by myself because the steering wheel kind of does whatever the heck it wants to do. So there's no real driving or dragging this thing. I'm gonna chain the Suzuki to it, and I'm gonna pull it ahead, and hopefully when he shows up, I'm not gonna ask him, I'm just gonna try to con him into it to help me get burn barrel into the shop. You guys think I can make him help me do it? I think so. Let's see if I can con him. We'll have to wait till he gets here. I'll get it all set up and look like I'm struggling, and then he'll see I'm struggling, and maybe he'll try to help. So let's see how far I can get this on my own.
Shit.
Hey Jesse, you want to help me get this in the shop?
No.
Come on, man, I got it so close. Alright, get him. He's got food. Come on, I'm so close to getting in the shop. All I need your help to steer it.
We'll stay out of the rain.
Alright, I'll get a little bit closer then, and then you can help me.
Stock to stock with like a Camry and let's say the guy's a good driver. It'd be cool.
I think Accords would be Camrys and stuff. You just can't be Camry.
They're really expensive.
Yeah, but
I want to try one.
all three 4-cylinders.
Maybe shove the ass end over a bit. Yeah, you go. That's almost too far.
So we got burn barrel into the garage, and me, Trick, and Jesse did work. He did help me. He was just being a grump and didn't want to help me right off the bat. So this car here is probably 4 years old now, and it's starting to show some wear. The upper control arm on this side has actually pretty much broke right off. So I did keep the aluminum when I built this. The only thing I did swap was the actual spindle. The reason for that is my rules are kind of all over the place with these, and we're not really a full mod out here, and if you change the front of 03s, it puts you into a lot of different categories with the rules. So anyway, I wanted to keep it as stock as I could. That's why I built this plate that bolts in, and it runs a Chevy motor on it, but that's not really the issue. The issue is the control arms. So what I'm thinking about doing is we're going to try to put GM control arms onto this. I haven't really done it before. Figured it's worth a try. I don't really want to put another factory set of 03 and newers on there because I imagine they'd just do the same thing as this. Probably going to get rid of the sway bar because it ain't really doing anything anyway. It's off of a Cadillac. It's just bolted on there. Steering rack's a little tight, but not too concerned. So this side here, the control arm's the issue. And on this side here, the actual spring, the strut has broken inside the shock tower. So you can see that a bolt has been welded to it to try to get some extra height. So we're going to be taking the struts out of this and probably the upper control arms, and I'm going to try to build a new setup for it, I think. So I guess let's get started on that. Maybe we can take out the springs and try to come up with an idea, see where I can go and what I can do. So we'll be right back with that. So this didn't come apart very nicely. Control arm broke in half because we all knew that was going to happen. You know, they're a double layer control arm. It's just weak. Like it's really thin and weak. Definitely crap, that's for sure. So, tie rod used to mount on the bottom side. I didn't like it, so I drilled it all out. We're going to put a spacer inside of here, and now it's going to become a top mount ball joint because that's the cool thing to do. We're going to mount it from the top. We're going to put a couple spacers in the lock washer so that way it's loose and it can have the little swivel it needs going from side to side. The bolt was seized in the bottom of the strut, so I had to cut it off with a mini grinder and then heat it up and pound it out just to melt the rubber a bit. So we got this side completely apart. It was actually quite a bit of work. Substantially amount of work. But we don't have any parts. I haven't been given any parts yet to fix this thing. So I'm just trying to come up with some ideas. I think that right there is about the height that he wants out of this thing. And it's just not accomplishable. You just can't do that. This is the height he wants, and you just can't do that on all factory parts. So we're going to be modifying them a bit. I'm going to take some measurements of this strut, see what I can come up with, and see what we can actually build or do some kind of idea. I think solid suspension is okay, so we'll be trying to play with that and see what we can basically come up with and go from there. So leave this with me to tinker around a bit, and we're going to come up with a better way to do this because everything is broken. All the factory suspension on this just has a lot of miles on it, and she just ain't that happy no more. So what we're trying to do is basically just get the more height. So we're going to screw around with this in the upcoming days. We're going to wait for a new control arm and everything about that. So we'll see what we can do. I'm not sure if a 70s GM control arm will bolt into this very nicely or not. I might have to actually just buy a new one of these off Rock Auto and get it shipped to me. I'm not sure. We'll see what I can do. But I don't know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Burn barrel's in the shop, and we're just starting to tinker around with it. There's a couple things that this thing needs, and it's definitely going to be a battle to get it all done. Got lots of time though, so that's on our side, and we'll see what happens. Good to see this car back here though. Kind of missed it a bit. Full size is cool, but it's just dead around me. We'll have to see what else I can get. I've been keeping my eyes open for other things. But we'll get this one worked on here. Let's order some parts and go from there.